Hey everyone, welcome to the 28th episode of the Luke Roxwold podcast. I'm your host, Luke Roxwold, and today I am here with Michael.
What's up?
And Brandon.
How's it going?
So we got a little bit of a smaller crowd here today, but I want to remind everyone that as always you can check us out on SoundCloud and iTunes, and not really YouTube because I just keep falling behind on that. This is Brandon's first episode, so welcome.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
We are going to talk about a subject that is actually a little bit controversial once again, and we are also going to try to do a singular topic once again.
This is probably the most important thing we ever talked about.
Oh, absolutely. Hands down.
It's pretty, it's up there, that's for sure. Today, we're going to talk about Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
So to start out, how do you guys feel about Star Wars? Like, what's your life been like with Star Wars growing up?
I guess I'll go first. I've been a Star Wars fan like the whole time. My mom and I used to watch Star Wars when I was little. I named my vacuum cleaner R2-D2. I had a toy of every Obi-Wan lightsaber. I have a special edition Darth Maul lightsaber. I love Star Wars.
What's the special edition Darth Maul lightsaber?
You know those Force Effects lightsabers with like the really movie like replica hilt?
Oh, like the expensive ones?
Yeah.
Like the ones I wouldn't get when I was a child because it was really cool but really expensive.
I actually got it like some random gift. My friend was moving and gave it to me, and I was like, heck yeah. They actually have custom lightsabers that my friend and I are saving up for that you can like, they're actually made for fighting, and they have really legit like hilts and stuff. But yeah, I love Star Wars. Not just lightsabers.
And just, we'll get over to you in a second, Brandon. We kind of take topics and we kind of expand on them a little bit, but
for sure.
I know that like when I was a kid, it's like the lightsabers got better as I was like getting out of it. Like as I was getting older, the lightsabers that the little kids were running around with were like upgrading. Like they had like spring activated lightsabers or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, they made them weaker. Like so, the first ones they had that I remember were like the $10 ones that had really thick plastic. They didn't light up. They just had like a dark colored blade. Those are cool because like they didn't break very easily. Then they had the light up ones that were a little bit weaker but like lit up and were pretty cool. The blade didn't go all the way into the hilt, but it was still fine.
Yeah, that's party foul in my book. Like
now they have like a kid version of the Force Effects lightsabers, which are the fancy ones. Like the blade has like basically a fluorescent light in it. It goes all the way up. So, like it has like animations when the blade turns on and off. Like, it goes up and goes down.
Those are the ones with like the white blade.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So they're not very strong.
And you get those like super expensive ones that the CNU people have for that Star Wars club.
All right, hold up. I gotta look this up. What would they be called? Lightsaber.
I don't even know. They're like $150, $200, dude. It's crazy.
Oh, there's tons of them. Just like they're the Force Effects lightsabers, which are like the Star Wars like licensed ones. Then there's a couple companies like Ultra Sabers and Saber Forge.
Here, I'm looking it up. Ultrasabers.com.
Probably the best ones.
These are the ones. Yeah, $450.
Casual, dude. It's no big deal.
That's right. That's right.
$500. I almost bought one last year. I'm really glad I didn't, because that way I could eat. But it would have been cool.
You're right. Do I want to eat Chick-fil-A that's going to give me food poisoning, or do I want to or do I want a lightsaber?
People at home, I got food poisoning today.
Michael's being a trooper for this episode. So to swoop back, so you grew up with Star Wars. You've always loved Star Wars.
Yep.
Since you were a kid. Well,
everything but episode 2.
Oh, you like episode 1? Because we're going to get into that a little bit.
Okay. I'll close that can for now.
Okay. Well, Brandon, what about you? What's your story with Star Wars?
I love Star Wars. Absolutely have grown up with it my whole life. My father is a diehard Star Wars fan.
Ooh.
My mother was a big fan of the original series, and then she got real mad when the remaster came out and hasn't really liked them since. And she's been like dying for them to release the original cut, and they haven't done that yet. So she's been pretty upset. So she's kind of gone away from Star Wars, but I loved it. I mean, I grew up on it, so to me, it's like part of my life.
Does your mom know about? I think it's called Hammy's Star Wars, something like that. Hold on. It's because basically we can actually get into that as well. Harmy's Star Wars Despecialized Edition.
I've not.
No,
You've never heard of it?
No.
Oh. Have you heard of this, Michael?
No, I think you've outdated us.
Oh. Cool. The only reason I know about it is because actually it's funny because Brent actually owns it, but he's not on here today. So basically, George Lucas is doing something that I think is not fair, where he basically released the movies, the original Star Wars, and then over time has been like fading out the old ones and updating them and putting in CGI and trying to make them look better, even though he's making Han Solo shoot after, what's his name? Greedo. Yeah. Like they're doing all this stuff, like changing the movies. And this guy online basically took a whole bunch of different things and has been splicing together the original cuts of the Star Wars. Because basically George Lucas is like getting rid of the original ones. Like you can't buy it anywhere.
Huh.
So it was owned by Fox, correct? The rights to the original movies?
Probably, yeah.
Which
I think
Disney is now buying, so
hey.
maybe you never know.
No, but George Lucas is going to be like, nope, can't touch you can only have it if you can't change it or whatever.
I don't think he can do that anymore, can he?
I don't know. He's weird. He's a weird guy.
He looks just like my friend's dad. My friend's dad looks just like him. It might be my friend's dad. I haven't figured it out yet.
All right, so Brandon, let's get back to you. So your parents are, well, one of them was a fan.
They were both diehards. Mom has kind of gone away. Dad still loves it. And yeah, I just grew up on it my whole life, and I can't remember my life without Star Wars, honestly. And so I went and saw The Force Awakens in theaters like 3 times. I was so hyped when they were reinventing, I guess, and adding on to the trilogy. I was really excited.
Mm-hmm.
So
right, and especially after I don't know about you guys, but like when the prequels came out, I was a dumb kid and I didn't know.
Yeah.
Like
I was like, them.
These are so good, and now I'm watching them as I'm a lot older, and they're less than fantastic.
I think the balance
to say the least.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I do believe that they offer some great moments, and while they are not great movies, they're still entertaining, and there are some things that I am very happier in the movies. So
I think the balance is like in the new movies they have really sweet lightsaber duels. The old movies they all kind of were lame. They're just like tapping the swords together.
Yeah.
So like it definitely makes it way cooler.
There's nothing funnier to me than in Empire Strikes Back, which is a fantastic movie, but the one when they're fighting around the carbonite area, and then like Luke does like this pathetic little spin when they're fighting. Like on one little foot. They're like fighting, and then they pause, and he just goes, spin.
It's like, you haven't seen this move, have you? Haha.
I know.
Changing the game.
Yeah.
That's what it's like. But so I think that they're like I like the original Star Wars. I do think they're dated a little bit.
Yeah, agreed.
And I really don't like the prequels, like, at all. I don't think they're good movies.
Yeah, as a whole, I would agree with you. I think Revenge of the Sith really picked it up, though.
That's definitely the best one.
I feel like the choreography in that, actually, for the lightsaber duels in Revenge of the Sith were really well done.
They're awesome.
Yeah, they were really well done, and I really appreciated that. And I feel like the story picked up a lot, and they fixed some things that were just awful in Attack of the Clones.
Can we all just agree? Yeah, that Attack of the Clones is the worst one.
That is the worst one. There are cool scenes,
but it was entertaining. Like, it was cool to see the clones fight. Like, that was the best part, right?
That's cool. But like Anakin and Padme. Anakin's so creeper the whole time. Like, it's so uncomfortable to watch.
And then like the whole controversy came out whenever R2-D2 could like suddenly fly.
Yeah. It's like,
you had to fly this whole time.
That's also something we're gonna get into a little bit, because when they do stuff like that, like they introduce new things like that, like, oh yeah, this whole time R2 could fly, and you're like, well, why didn't he do that? like a few times before. Like, I feel like there's other situations in Star Wars where flying would have come in handy, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe he lost his flying for the original trilogy, but
people see, and that's what I hate. Someone always has an excuse, like, "Oh no, I mean, there's a whole graphic novel about how they removed his wings.
He's old,
so he can't fly anymore." It's like, it doesn't count. You can't just. You made that up after the fact. You didn't. That's not what originally happened. What's it called?
He's getting old, man. He's getting old.
Retconning? Yeah, R2. He is. I think it's called retconning, where you like go back and you try to. Retcon stands for retroactive continuity. So if you make a movie and then you realize that there's a plot hole, in the next movie you do something or have a character say something that basically goes back to fix that plot hole. I think that's kind of cheating, but
I feel like they did that a little bit in this movie, actually.
Yeah, they did. They totally did.
So yeah.
Are we gonna do this now? Is this the time?
Yeah, you want to jump in straight into it? Because I have a lot of like random questions that we can ask about the other Star Wars movies that I think would be interesting.
All right, let's go. Let's do it real quick.
Okay, yeah, because I guess Michael doesn't want to be on this episode too long. Before we get into that,
guys.
What is better, Episode 7 or Rogue One?
I liked Rogue One better from first seeing of both of them.
I actually like Force Awakens more.
Yeah, I'm totally on board with 7. Like, I did not like Rogue One very much at all.
I did not either. I actually thought it was kind of a bland movie.
Rogue One was really divisive. I thought it was awesome. I think what I didn't like about The Force Awakens was how swashbuckly it is. It's a lot like
Pirates,
Guardians of the Galaxy, where they're just joking all the time. But Rogue One was a lot grittier.
Yeah, but like I didn't care about any of the characters in Rogue One. Like,
yeah, that was my problem too.
When they died, spoiler. You should have seen the movie by now, so like it's on you if that spoiled it. But like,
plus they spoil it in Episode 4 when they say many Bothans died for this information.
When they all die, it's like I didn't care. Like it really didn't. So
that's just because you know how the story goes. Like you knew they were gonna die.
Well, I don't think that's why. I think I just wasn't invested in the character. Like I know Boromir is gonna die when I watch Lord of the Rings, but I still am like, oh no! Like when he
I still get real sad when that happens, man.
I was just watching Lord of the Rings before I came on the podcast just now.
Oh really?
Yep.
The extended versions, right?
No, I don't have those. But I found the original versions for $5 at St. Charles.
Michael, no.
I know.
That actually is kind of heresy. I'm just saying.
I have the books. I've read them all like more than once, so I think that makes it okay.
Actually, that's true. I've never read the books. They're too long.
What? You call me a heretic?
They go on too long. No, they're too wordy, man. The books are like 1,000,000 hours long.
The Hobbit's the best one. It has the most action.
We're gonna jump into it. I just want to say one thing. Like I was trying to read Two Towers because I saw the movie first, and was like, hey, why don't I check out this book? So, in the movie, they have Treebeard talking to Merry and Pippin, and then it kind of montages through it, and it cuts to later, and they're like falling asleep because it's so boring. In the book,
they have everything he says.
They have the whole conversation. And you're like, how am I supposed to stay awake for this?
That's awesome.
It's like real life. You're Merry and Pippin in the book, hearing the whole thing.
Feel what they feel.
Yeah, and I did. Okay, so let's do it. Jump into episode 8.
Yeah.
I don't want. Oh, okay.
Sorry, I keep talking before you guys. I'm not trying to.
I'm trying to decide if I want like what's an interesting way to do this.
Start out with your harshest opinion, and then move from there.
Okay, what was the best thing in the movie? And we're gonna go with spoilers. So if you don't want this spoiled, go see it and then listen to this. But this is all spoilers.
Stop listening now.
So what was the best thing in that movie?
For me, it would have to be between the Lightspeed kamikaze maneuver and the throne room sword fight or lightsaber duel. Like that in general was just like.
What was the second one?
The throne room, the fight scene in the throne room.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was cool.
When Kylo and Rey suddenly like go back to back, and it's just like an epic moment.
That scene was really cool, but I think my favorite scene was that last scene with like those like salt glider things. It just looks so beautiful. Like I love the little ice, the little crystal foxes. It was really cool.
Yeah, that planet was sweet.
I
wish they were there more.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm already about to like channel into my ranting mode, but we won't get there yet.
I have a rant, but yeah, go ahead, Luke.
I really like that throne room scene, like the whole thing.
Yes.
Yeah. The whole scene was awesome. I love the way they shot it. I like the way the twist. The thing I think I like the most about the films or this whole film was, and I think this is what a lot of people actually hate about it. That they basically took all the theories everyone had and they were like, nope, you're wrong. because everyone thought they were so right. Oh, but I was so happy though.
They ruined it.
Because so many people were like, Luke, I know Star Wars, and Rey is obviously related to someone.
Luke,
like she's Luke Skywalker's. I almost said Luke Roxwold. She's Luke Skywalker's daughter, or she's Kylo Ren's sister. She's somebody. She's got to be somebody. And so when it went to that one point where it was like, nope, she's just nobody. I was like, yes. All those nerds are probably really mad now, and I'm kind of happy.
What I was kind of upset about was how quickly they killed off Snoke without explaining who he was or where he came from.
Yep. That was one of my first things. I was like...
No, I like that. See, I liked all the things that people hated.
Yep.
No, because no one saw that coming. Everyone thought... Because Star Wars 7 was so predictable. Wait, what?
Plot twist is not better than story. I feel like he was just trying to put all the plot twists he could in there.
No, well... I think that he made the story more original by not doing the same Star Wars thing over and over again.
We don't know who he is.
Who cares? He's just a guy.
He's a 7-foot tall... scrotum-faced alien dude. I want to know what he's about.
I mean, he basically was just a red herring. That's all he was.
Just read they'll just put a graphic novel out and you'll read that. And you'll know.
I will say that my expectations, though, like, were definitely subverted by that, right? Because I went into this movie expecting to have a full backstory or understanding of who Snoke was and who Rey's parents were. And the movie was like, sorry.
You don't get to know either of those.
No answers in this movie. Like, you got like hints to answers, but that's really it.
Because I don't know how to keep this structured because I kind of want to go all over the place. Because I like things about the movie. I like things about the movie, but then there's things I think there's some issues with the movie.
I agree. Absolutely.
Like there was a very large handful of what seemed to be plot holes in the movie. To start, why did that feminist woman, she looked like a feminist with her little purple hair, you know, why, like she literally did, like it's literally the exact same color, but why did she not tell everyone what she was doing?
Yeah.
That was so stupid. It was like she was just hiding it from the audience. I did not get that at all.
I think like she wasn't sure what she was going to do. She was just like hoping something good would happen. Just to try to stay strong, and then something good happens.
Well, so then,
see, I planned this the whole
it's
time.
like they were trying to say, like, oh, Poe should feel bad because of what he did, but I think he made the right decision based on what she didn't tell him. You know?
Dude.
I did not get, like, the narrative they were trying to kind of show with that.
They're just trying to get plot twists, man. Plot twists. That's all this movie was about.
That's true.
I don't know. I feel like this movie... Sorry. I just feel like this movie had a running theme, and it kind of pushed it of like, it's hard to decipher what's right and what's wrong. And they kind of pushed that narrative a lot, right? Like, what's the middle line and what's considered right and what's wrong? And that was like based on like their decisions and like the weapon selling. And
well, even Luke says it about like the Force. He's like, oh, right. Jedi, Sith, who cares? We're just these things.
And that was like a running theme. And for me, I feel like they may be hinting to the Grey Jedi. And I'm really curious to know if they're actually going to do the Grey Jedi in the next movie, because...
What are they called again? It's like the Burin?
I don't even know exactly.
What are these? Are these like Super Jedi or something
so
like that?
Essentially the Grey Jedi, the whole idea behind it
Grey.
is there is no light, there is no dark. They kind of are like, they work outside of those things, and they're able to control themselves within the middle. And so there's like never a clear understanding of like what is light and what is dark with them. It's like,
Qui-Gon was a Grey Jedi.
Yeah. And
what?
So,
really?
Mm-hmm.
That's what some people say. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. A lot of people think that Mace Windu is
actually,
too.
Yeah, Qui-Gon is kind of a sucky guy. Like, he ruined everything.
Qui-Gon's
you notice that?
They're off the podcast.
They were like, you shouldn't train this guy. He's like, I'm gonna train him, and then he gets himself killed, and then Obi-Wan's like, all right, well then I'll train him, and then he becomes Darth Vader and kills everyone. And it's like, so, you know, if you imagine like what could have happened with this if you just didn't train that kid, what would have, you know?
I'm sorry, you cannot hate on Liam Neeson. You just can't.
I can do whatever I want. He just might find me and kill me. Plot hole number 2.
How the heck do they drop bombs in space?
Well, they could be considered like, were they near a planet?
The very first thing they fall. No, like they were like way away from a planet, not close enough for it to matter.
Oh, no. Actually, I just thought of how that could work. Did you notice like they always have gravity in the spaceships?
Yeah, you think it's just localized gravity to the Star Destroyer?
No, I'm saying that like so in the ships, in any ship, there's always gravity, and so you got all these bombs that have gravity on them inside the ship, and the gravity pulls them out of the ship. But as soon as they're pulled out of the ship, they don't have gravity anymore, but they're already moving.
Yeah, they already have the force, so
yeah, the force. Hey.
I don't think it works like that. I think they would just like fall out and just kind of like float.
No, they would. Well, the momentum, they're already moving.
Yeah, momentum. Yep.
So like they would keep moving. Like if I.
But I don't know. I still think it's wrong.
For the record, if we're getting real scientific, there's no sound in space.
Exactly.
And so
there's no such things as lightsabers, Michael. Okay, this movie's dumb.
Yeah, like people get mad about there's no sound in space. Yeah, but there's lightsabers in the Force. You don't care about that. Yeah, that's fine.
That's true. Yeah, I know. It was aliens. I think that like the other plot hole that I saw, and actually so her kamikazing through the ship was cool.
It was epic.
Wait, what do you mean?
But
when the girl in the beginning,
the end,
when she saved Finn,
when the feminist haired lady shoots through the
Luke, don't you ruin this for me. I love that part so
much.
By
the way, just say names so people know what we're talking about.
I don't know what her name is.
Vice Admiral?
Purple haired lady.
Purple haired lady. So
I believe her name is Vice Admiral Holdo.
Yeah, so when she shoots through the ships, it took her like forever to think of doing that because she was just gonna like let herself die, and like there's no robots that can like fly this ship. It has to be her.
Yeah, I was on autopilot.
I thought that was kind of weird. What?
There's autopilot in Star Wars. We have autopilot now.
Yeah, I know.
I
was like, how does she have to stay with the ship? I didn't understand that. And then the other side of it too is it took her forever to be like, well, I'm gonna die anyway. I might as well try and take out these people. And then lastly, I feel like if they opened up this doorway of light speed, in like kamikaze light speed, that they're kind of acknowledging that it's possible. And now people are like, well, why didn't you just do that to the Death Star?
Because you would die.
So?
I mean, I feel like that is a very costly thing that the Rebels
just make a missile
afford.
that goes light speed and shoot it into the Death Star. You know what I mean?
I think the Death Star was
just
pretty
take
massive.
the hyperdrive and put it in a tube and shoot it at the Death Star. I'm with you, Luke.
Physics-wise, if we were going to do physics, like if I shot an X-wing at light speed at the Death Star, it would go through the Death Star.
Theoretically.
It's like a bullet, you know?
Right.
I don't know. I just thought that was kind of like...
That was interesting. I mean, if you want to discuss things that they've added that they've never done in a Star Wars movie before, the fact that in this movie they played around with the idea that you can use the Force to manipulate matter. That was super interesting.
Yeah, with Luke's like astral projections of himself.
Not only that, with the rain that got on
I saw that.
Kylo Ren's face after.
So I was thinking that was because they were like kind of in the same place when they were talking.
But that would be projecting him through the Force and like moving matter essentially, and that's never been done before.
Yeah, dude, the Jedi, like the Force users are so much stronger here than they have been ever before, like in the movies.
Why? So on the Rotten Tomatoes, and I'm starting to not trust Rotten Tomatoes in general, so it's not a good source. But the critic reviews of this movie are like 95%. Like they're super high.
They're super high.
The fan reviews are like one of the lowest of any Star Wars movie.
They are the lowest of any Star Wars movie.
What? Are they lower than Episode 1?
They are lower than Episode 1.
It's like 50%. Yeah, I know. So when I went into this movie, I was like sitting there going, "Oh no, what's gonna happen? Something's gonna happen." And then like nothing really that major happened. Like I was like, they're gonna kill Rey, or Rey's gonna turn to the dark side, or Luke's gonna turn to the dark side, or they're gonna kill R2. Like, what are they gonna do that's gonna make people hate this movie? And like nothing that bad seemed to happen. I didn't think anything major happened.
I think it justified people's expectations, right? This movie was so drastically different in some ways, very similar in others. I don't know. I feel like you're in this impossible situation where you're trying to please the diehards, where you're trying to keep the series fresh.
Well, yeah, but they literally did exactly like Episode 7. Episode 7 was great. I really, really actually liked Episode 7 a lot.
Played it super safe,
but it was such a safe movie. Yeah.
Yes.
It was like, this is the most basic, easy, no one's going to hate this Star Wars movie.
Right.
And now the reason I liked this new one was because they were like, we're going to try something different. We're going to try and make a movie that takes risks.
So speaking of that, at the end of the movie when that battering ram cannon was at the Rebel base on the salt planet
I have a problem with that scene.
And Finn was gonna go like fly into it and kill himself, like sacrifice himself to destroy it. I was like, yes, like they always bring in a new character and kill them before the end of the movie, so it doesn't really matter that much. I was like, oh dude, this is a ballsy move. They're gonna like kill off a main character to push the story along, and then he got saved by Rose. I was like, what the heck?
I hated that.
Yeah, no, and it was
bummed.
one
I want to know more about Finn, so I'm happy, but at the same time, I want.
Well, we can all
story.
agree that Rose was not her connection with Finn. Not
really random.
I felt like the whole storyline for me, actually, the worst part of this entire movie was the storyline with them. Yes, yep, absolutely.
Everyone agrees.
So
like,
contrived.
Dude,
this
the funny thing is too, like everything they do in the movie, they never actually like succeed because they went to go like turn off the tracker at the Empire ship, and they didn't get a chance to do that. And then they were gonna save everyone from that cannon. They didn't get a chance to do that. They accomplished nothing.
Yeah,
I know Finn and her are just like a fail team.
I do think other things are just happening that makes their actions.
So that's the final. I think the final plot hole. Like that's the last big plot hole that I noticed. Why does Rose like sacrifice all the rebels to save him?
I know,
for no reason.
Because she loves him for no reason.
See, but okay.
Then she and him are both gonna die if they wipe out the rebels and then just kill them.
No,
it was so I didn't get it at all.
Like in Lord of the Rings just now, Rohan was like, Aragorn's like, Gondor calls for aid. He's like, we're not going to help them. He's like, but if you don't help them, we all die also. I don't care. There's idiots, selfish.
I know, but I just didn't understand, like, why did she do that? Because they were like, if you fly into this, you'll die, but you'll stop this machine. And so then he's going, and then she takes him out, and it's like, well, now everyone's going to die. And
exactly.
And then she's like, no, we don't win this war by fighting people we hate. We win this war by saving people we love. And I was like, well, yeah, except you're going to lose now because of what you just did. Yeah, like, the only reason she didn't lose is because Luke showed up.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I don't know. It was it definitely felt like just a plot device to story long so that Luke could do what Luke was going to do. I don't know. It was really out of place. And I was like, is it really that Rose has an interest in Finn, or is it more like that's just her hero, and so she finally saw like him fulfilling what she envisioned him being? You know what I'm saying?
But it would be like if to me it seemed like, okay, so Boba Fett is about to snipe Princess Leia, and then Han like dives to try and block the sniper fire like with his own body, to like jumps in front of Leia, and then Luke like tackles him out of the way and Leia gets shot. It's like, well, wait a second. Something's not lining up here. That's what it felt like to me.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to like drive home how like they're trying to get you to connect to the rebels and like show the severity of war, because the Star Wars movies, like they have some intense moments, but it's really personal moments. You never really see the soldiers and stuff dealing with like war. In this movie and in Rogue One, you see like a lot more of like their conflict within them and like the interpersonal relationships.
Yeah,
that's what they're trying to do. But I think that case was just like a dumb way to do it.
Yeah, and I mean I can see that, but like if you're going to commit to that, then commit to killing someone off. Like,
yeah,
you really
I wanted someone. I wanted someone to die.
Okay,
I wanted it to end on a cliffhanger. I wanted people angry when the movie ended. Like,
Luke died.
No, what's gonna happen? That's what I wanted, and it didn't. I was kind of disappointed that didn't happen.
Okay,
that's how I still am, because nothing actually happened. Like everything that I want to know from the first movie was not answered. Also, they're like no lightsaber fights. It was literally just Luke dodging lightsabers.
Yeah.
And then he was a ghost.
When I watched episode 7, I feel like I did like episode 8, but I liked it for different reasons than I liked episode 1. I liked episode 8 because it was really brave and it was a lot darker. I liked that. But I liked 7. I think I enjoyed watching 7 more because 7 basically pandered to kind of what I wanted to see in a Star Wars movie. Or it was just like, at the end when the lightsabers come out, you're like, yeah, lightsabers, and like, you know, you're just cheering. Like, it's a very cheer at the screen.
The lightsaber fights in 7 were definitely really good.
Yeah, they were.
I agree.
The production value of the movie was great. Like, everything looked amazing.
Oh yeah.
Oh, this movie looked fantastic.
Like,
they did so many wide shots. Oh my goodness, it was amazing.
Really cinematography in these 3 movies are like amazing. Like, I love that red planet, the red salt planet. Like, it looks everything looks so cool. That's like one of the coolest scenes I've ever seen.
Shout out to the guy that tasted the salt.
I was like, oh, it's not a snow planet.
Yeah, really. It's like he takes it and he takes a taste of it. He's like, oh, it's nothing I've ever tasted. It's poison.
What is it?
I mean, like, how does he know? He's just eating the ground. Yeah. So I love the Salt Planet. I love the lightsaber stuff. I really like the scene in that whole scene in the throne room.
Yeah, that was
really cool.
I know people didn't like that Snoke got killed right away, but I also liked it because I didn't see it coming. I guess I'm tired of going into movies going, I kind of know exactly what's going to happen now. And so this movie was like, oh man, I have no idea what they're going to do now. And that made it a little bit more exciting for me.
You're right. I also do love like when they kill a bad guy just because that's what everyone needs to do. Because they kill everyone else on the way to the bad guy, and they never kill the bad guy.
We've talked about this before with like Joker, where Joker's like killing all these people, and Batman's like, gotcha, but I can't kill you. And then he's like, so I'll just put you in jail. And then the Joker gets out of jail and kills like 100 more people, and Batman's like, oh, I can't kill you though. It's like, dude, just kill the guy, because it's like, oh, but that'll make me like him. Shut up, Batman. It's fine.
Talking about killing people off, can we discuss for a moment why Leia wasn't killed off?
Dude. Oh, man. Yeah. I was blowing my nose, but this is more important. So, I'm sorry. I keep like interrupting. Go ahead, man. I'm really passionate about what happened.
No, I want you guys to go. Go for it.
Okay, I got real upset, actually. It kind of ruined... I'm not going to say ruined. It distracted me for the rest of the movie after watching her Mary Poppins through space. So I was like super ready for expecting her to die, honestly. And I think that's why they didn't do it, is because like they were like, oh yeah, everyone's expecting her to die. But
I
wouldn't have been a problem to me.
No reason.
I know. I guess it wouldn't have been a problem to me if she had some sort of like reason for being in the story the rest of the movie, but she was just there. There was no point for her to be there.
Yeah. So I was saying to my friend, he didn't believe me.
How cool would it have been, in my opinion, if she had been the one that did the lightspeed kamikaze maneuver, like gone out in an epic, way like that, and it would have made a lot more sense. And then the new vice admiral would lead the new rebellion. Like to me, that would have been like way
people
cooler.
were actually talking about how they thought that the person who did the kamikaze thing should have been the "it's a trap" guy.
Oh, Akbar! They killed him.
Instead of him just dying for like, oh, he's just dead.
They just killed Akbar.
He's just dead?
I know.
That
was a little weird.
They just say he died.
Okay.
Like when they shoot the ship or something. You're like, oh, he's dead now.
Oh, yeah. That's lame.
And that was it. He's just dead.
What I'm most upset about with the Leia thing, well, first of all, I think they filmed the whole movie before Carrie Fisher died.
Yeah.
Right.
So, like, they're not going to go back and change the whole movie. But, like you're saying, it was distracting because, she gets randomly blown out of the ship. Like, that happens when you're shooting ships, I guess, but, like, it's random for, like, a main character to, like, be blown out of space. She Force pulls her back onto the ship. Force pulls herself to the ship. And then, like, gets put, like, on a stretcher. You're just like, oh, is that how they're going to kill her off? That's, like, the lamest way to die ever. Then she goes back for no reason. And, like,
but, I mean, like, I didn't have a huge problem with that. I knew people would have a huge problem with it, though.
I think Luke just likes movies that make people mad. You don't like movies from movies. He's like, oh, this is going to make everyone so upset. I love it.
I didn't like that part, but I didn't think it was like, oh no. Like, it just, to me, was like, oh, I guess it's, people are going to be mad about that, though.
It just made no sense to me. I don't know. I was so
I mean,
confused.
like, I saw it as, like, the adrenaline. Like, she almost dies, her body's about to get frozen. And so, like, her body just kind of, like, instinctively, like, does this insanely powerful force move.
Well, she's really force sensitive. Like, she's almost as connected to the force as Luke is. She just doesn't train.
I think that was just what was weird for me is, like, they've never shown that. They just, like, mentioned it one time in Return of the Jedi that she was force sensitive. But, like, it's never been, like, prominent in the movies. You know what I'm saying? So all of a sudden for her to do this ridiculous maneuver, I don't know. It was just weird.
How do you guys feel about Rey?
I personally really like Rey.
Oh yeah, she's really hot. I think she's really cute. I was thinking it's funny when, like, in movies people just talk about how attractive the female characters are.
That's right.
Oh yeah, Lindsay Lohan was pretty hot in that movie. Yeah, that was good.
That's right.
As a character, I actually really think she's a well-written character.
Just to say,
I think so too.
I like the girl. I like looking at the girl in Rogue One more. I think she's more attractive. But she was really boring. I didn't like her. But now Rey, I know a lot of people have issues with Rey because they think she literally never struggles with anything. She always does, like, the right thing and always, like, succeeds. She never fails ever.
feel like in this movie she was really conflicted. Like she's like trying to figure out who she is.
Yeah, but like she never fails.
True, but
I'm gonna fly the Millennium Falcon, and she's like amazing.
Oh yeah, that is weird.
Oh, I'm gonna fix the Millennium Falcon, and she just knows everything about it. And then she's like, well, I'm gonna lightsaber fight, and she wins the lightsaber fight.
I think everything's not new to her. Like she's hiding something because even when she's talking to Kylo Ren, they talk about how they remember each other from the past, and like in episode 7, he's like, you still want to kill me? Like she's not just like new to the story. And they put little hints in there, but they don't really talk about it. I think she like was doing something before. I don't know, or maybe her parents were somehow secretly awesome.
Did you guys think anything about Kylo dropping the bomb on her that she's not important at all? So you didn't like? See, I liked it because it was such an interesting way of twisting the story.
At first,
because normally, let me just finish this like real quick. So like normally, it's like, oh, I must be a nobody. I must be a nobody. I must be a nobody. Nope. Plot twist, you're someone super important. That's always the story people do. And this time, everyone's like, she's got to be somebody. She's definitely somebody. She's really important. She's like, I'm really important. I must be somebody. And then it's like, plot twist, you're just a regular person. You're normal. You know? I thought that was interesting.
I mean, okay, so I will say that whenever I first heard that, I was shocked and like very conflicted on it. And the more I think about it, the more I'm like okay with it. And like I really feel like I need to go see the movie again. I'm probably going to see it next week or something, because I really have had a change of heart overthinking over the last day. But I think it was interesting how, if you remember in the last scene of the movie with the kid that uses the Force for the broom.
Yeah, at the very end.
Broom boy.
Yeah, at the very end.
The wizard.
I have no idea if anything's going to come of that kid, or if it's just part of the message that they were trying to push is like a nobody can be a hero, nobody can be a Jedi.
Well, look at
whatever.
Anakin. That's the whole thing. Is like Anakin's nobody.
Right.
Why was he super powerful?
Well, his dad was the Force basically. So like when episode 1, when Qui-Gon's asking Smee about him.
That's so I hate that.
Like, who was the father? She's like, there was no father. At first I thought she was just being like cryptic, like, oh, he wasn't around. But apparently like he was like immaculately conceived. He was immaculately conceived basically.
I wonder if that's literally supposed to be like a draw to like the Bible.
It probably is. Most like epics or like odysseys are allegories of like the Christ image.
Yeah.
Right? But dang it, I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh yeah. So my first theory was that Rey was just a nobody. I was annoyed at everybody too for being like, oh, she's this person. I'm like, no, she's just probably someone random. That makes it cooler. But I heard lots of evidence of how she was like either Obi-Wan's daughter or Palpatine's daughter, and I was really stoked for her to be Obi-Wan's daughter, because that would have been cool, but she wasn't.
The problem that I have is that, go ahead, Brandon. I'm talking.
No, continue, please.
Well, so, the "I am your father" line is one of the most iconic movie lines, plot lines of all time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you can't top it by being like, well, guess what, Rey, Obi-Wan's your father. Whoa! Like, you can't do that, because everyone's going to be expecting it because you did it in the other movie.
Well, it wouldn't be like somebody telling her. It'd probably be a flashback or
I'm just saying it. Well, yeah, but like no one's going to be like, whoa, I was really surprised that the main character was related to somebody else. Never seen that before in a Star Wars movie. You know what I mean? And so like to have them take it and be like, all right, well, we're going to do another plot twist that no one's going to see coming, and we're going to do the opposite because no one's expecting that.
Yeah.
I don't like
it. I know. It's fine.
Wrong.
I honestly, the more I think about it, the more I don't mind it. I honestly don't. I think they needed to take a chance on this movie, and they had to push it because, last movie, while people enjoyed it, the number one complaint was it was too familiar, it was too similar, it was a repeat of what's already happened. Mm-hmm. So I think that they were trying really hard to not do that again. But, in this movie, there's a lot of similarities. I mean, you can go back to episodes 5 and 6 and find so many similarities. I mean, of course, the not Hoth planet, of course. Mm-hmm. The fact that Luke is on an island by himself and, kind of deserted himself, exiled himself the same way Yoda did. And then he's training Rey the same way Yoda trained Luke. And, like, there's a lot of similarities.
I would be curious to see, like, the similarities between them. Because I have heard people make theories that the trilogies always have the same, the same, what am I trying to say? Like the same movement in a way, like the same, this character and then this character, and then someone runs away, and then somebody's father, and then the main grandfather character dies. Like that's what people were saying about episode 7, that it was exactly like episode 4.
Yeah.
And so I wonder if there's people going to be saying the same thing about episode 8 being exactly like episode 5.
I feel like there was a mix between episode 5 and 6 in this movie. I don't remember which episode it was, but whenever Luke goes into the cave and trying to find, like, you know, himself and
that's
the
episode
vision.
5.
It is 5, yeah.
Yeah.
And Ray did the same exact thing in this movie.
Which that scene was awesome. I love
that was a great scene.
That was really cool. The visuals were definitely really awesome in this movie.
I like it when movies like Star Wars movies or Marvel movies or whatever can find a cool way of doing something we've never seen before, because they're such big budget movies. So it's like,
oh, absolutely.
why don't you do something kind of cool, like her going through the portal, where it was like almost like a webcam. If you've ever taken a webcam and like filmed the screen that the webcam is on,
like
it's
the
got
mirror,
that like delayed
mirror,
mirror kind of look. It was like that, and I thought that was a really kind of cool idea.
That was really cool. I think it also showed how she and Kylo were connected. Like the Force was like, I think like she was like, not projecting, but it's like a connection between her and Kylo Ren through the Force. I think.
The Force is supposed to be. It's supposed to be connected to everything. So
yeah, it was kind of like a look into it.
Yeah,
I loved how they described the Force in this movie. I think they did a great job of explaining it.
Everything that Luke had to say, I really liked.
Agreed.
Yeah, it was cool.
Like him like talking about. He's got a cool name. But him talking about
Skywalker.
Okay. Well, no. But him talking about like, are the Jedi and the Sith any good for the world? Are they any different? All we do is kind of make problems. I just kind of was like an interesting angle because he seemed like almost neutral, because everyone always seems to be like good side, bad side. And this is the first time I feel like we've seen someone who's just like straight in the middle, where he's like, okay, the Force can be here and all, but we need to not have good or bad. We just need to have the Force.
And that's what I'm saying. The Grey Jedi.
Yep.
Luke is the Grey Jedi.
Well, I think that they're very possibly implying or hinting to a future. We'll see. I don't know. I'm interested to see.
So that conversation that Luke has about like how the Force is like the Jedi and the Sith, like they kind of ruin things. It's kind of a callback to episode 3. That's when Yoda's fighting Darth Sidious, he realizes that like the Jedi have totally neglected the dark side of the Force, and like they didn't bring balance. They just like pushed one side really hard.
Right.
That's why they have all those problems.
There's like a whole theory about, it's like the balance of the Force, that anytime there's like extreme good, that's why there's extreme evil, to balance it out. So like the Jedi are so powerful, that the good side is so powerful that's why it springs back the way it does, because the balance of it. Mm-hmm. And so then the evil side sprouts up, and it's super, super powerful to like counterbalance the good side.
Yeah, that makes sense. That does.
There's a lot of theories that like that is where a lot of the stuff that's happening with 7, where that's one of the reasons that Rey was so powerful, was because she's balancing out.
So I have a theory about that.
Yeah.
It's not a deep theory. Go ahead though.
No, please tell me your theory. I'm curious.
Well, basically, like this, like it's kind of in the name, The Force Awakens. Like, there's like a new wave of the Force. That's why like Rey and Kylo Ren are so powerful. Like Rey does things that Yoda could do when Yoda was like in Episode 3. Like in Episode 2, Yoda struggled to lift like this column that Count Dooku knocked over. Then you see Rey like holding up tons of boulders. And like in The Force Awakens, you'd see Kylo Ren like stopping a blaster bolt midair, reading people's minds. Like these are things that hadn't been done before in Star Wars. Yeah. And it's just like all of a sudden. So I think like the Force is like, it's like stronger now. It's just like in Legend of Korra when like airbending comes back. It's just like it's like you said, like the world of bringing balance back to itself.
Well, and I think that it's interesting because I've always seen it. And the reason I didn't have a problem with Rey beating Kylo in 7 was because I feel like Rey and Kylo are they're equally as powerful as each other. Like they're both just prodigies in a way. But the difference is that Kylo is like an emotional wreck about everything.
He has too much.
So
division.
he can't focus. It's like I said this to somebody. I said, imagine 2 very smart kids going in to take a test, like at school. Maybe one is even a smarter kid. So kid A is like super smart. Kid B is like pretty smart. But then kid A, right before he goes to the test, both his parents die and his dog dies or whatever.
Whoa, that so he goes in real fast.
But I mean, like he goes in to take this test and he can't think about the test. He's a wreck. He's all emotion. He's all upset. And so like that's the way I see Kylo's character, where he's in this kind of bipolar, emotional, distraught, awful state. And that's why Rey keeps beating him, because he can't control his emotions and his thoughts on things.
Well, I actually feel like they implied that pretty heavily in this movie, and that was kind of part of the retconning you were talking about, because one of the big complaints in the last movie was that how is Rey beating him? And like everyone's like, oh well, he got blasted by the Chewie's blaster or whatever, and they like talked about how powerful it was. But in this movie, they were like, they kind of emphasized his emotional state, and I think they did that to kind of solve that issue of like, how did Rey beat him with so little training?
The other part that they totally retconned was like in this first movie, all the audience that watched it was like, why is he wearing that stupid mask? It's so dumb. He looks exactly like Darth Vader. It's such a ripoff. And then in this movie, it's like Snoke goes up to him. He's like, why are you wearing a dumb mask? It's so stupid. You look exactly like Darth Vader. And then he goes and smashes it. And it's like it's like the director was literally like, all right, let's get rid of this mask and let's just acknowledge what everyone else was saying in the other movie.
I remember like when I saw Force Awakens, like the day it came out, like at premieres, nerds are always like way more stoked about everything. But like when Kylo took off his mask, everyone laughed, because like Adam Driver's just kind of like a goofy, nice looking dude. Like he doesn't look super mean.
Yeah, he did. Well, especially that first shot. Like I think he's fine. Like I think he's actually really good in the movie.
I think he's amazing.
But
he's a great actor.
But
his
in that one
like,
scene,
now you expect.
Well, it was just that one shot of him taking off the mask. It was like, oh, that was not done well.
You guys remember that like Undercover Boss parody they did with Kylo Ren, like in the First Order?
Yeah.
And he's like, I heard that Kylo Ren had an 8-pack. I heard he was ripped. They're like, well, he's scrawny, whatever. And I saw a meme today. It was like him saying that, like, I heard Kylo Ren was ripped. And it was like, this guy, whatever his name was, like, the only one who knows Kylo Ren was ripped. I thought that was hilarious. He actually beats up pretty good in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like he does a great job acting and showing the conflict within himself. And like I actually think that makes his character like almost likable. Like he's a villain, but like you almost feel for him, because
I think Kylo is more compelling than Rey is.
At times, I absolutely agree with that. Yeah. Absolutely.
Because he's got more of a he's literally like the opposite of Luke, where he's on the dark side and he's struggling with going to the good side.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. He's like trying to stick to his guns and stay on the bad side, but he's being tempted to go to the good side. I just think that's kind of interesting because it's a different angle.
Yeah, also weird because you're trying to figure out Kylo Ren's motivation, because at first he was kind of just rebelling to rebel, and he like got really deep in the dark side. But I feel like now he's realizing like, wait, maybe this isn't what I should have been doing. So
actually, that's something I really liked. So I really actually loved him trying to pick up the same Darth Vader mentality. But it was even more realistic in this point, because Darth Vader's like, oh, we could overthrow the Emperor, and then we could both rule the galaxy how we want. And I like that after he kills Snoke, he's basically like, we can take over and we'll get rid of everyone, all the Jedi and the Sith, and we'll just do things our own way.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like a callback to the old movie, but in kind of a different way. It wasn't.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like a repeat of the same story, and I like that.
It was definitely like a cool reference, but not straight up.
Well, it was like, oh, this is what Darth Vader was trying to do. I just never thought about it this way. I like that.
Dude, I always think it's funny, too, how like important holding someone's hand when they ask you to join them is. Like, she's like, her hand's like reaching towards him, like, oh no, like it's getting too close. Am I going to grab it? I don't know.
It's really like a handshake. It's like, I can't go back now. I shook his hand.
We're bound. The rules of the galaxy have been set.
I feel like it would be so not theatrical if they were like, join me. And they just stood there and they didn't hold their hand out.
Join me. I don't know. Come on, man.
Like,
I don't know, man.
You're like, so am I supposed to walk towards you? Am I supposed to hug you? Like, what am I supposed to do here with your hand like not being
just
up?
Say yes.
Just say yes.
So, can we just talk about the Yoda part? Because I thought that part was incredible, actually. I was so excited.
It was nice to see Puppet Yoda again.
It was.
I was so Yoda, but he looked really funny to me.
I feel like he looked a little like clay, honestly, at first. In the first shot, at least. But once they like did the fire behind him, I think he looked really good.
He kind of looked like the Yoda from the Clone Wars cartoon, like the CGI one.
You think?
At first I did. As it went on, I was like, oh, it's a puppet. I could tell it's a puppet. I was like, why is his mouth moving so stupid when they have CGI?
Yeah, I wish what they had done is I wish they had the puppet Yoda, but then I wish they would have done a few things with CGI to like buff it up just a little bit.
Yeah.
Like maybe just move his mouth a little bit differently with CGI.
Yeah, his mouth was
like
really like...
You could do
really,
it. It just was like...
Yeah.
I don't know. I think blending CGI and practical effects is the best thing you can do.
Yeah, they photoshopped Superman's beard off in the Justice League. They can move Yoda's mouth.
They could do that.
Come on, Disney.
I just wasn't expecting him in the movie. It was so nice.
Yeah, me neither. That was definitely weird. I was like, wait, what? It was definitely
I
weird.
liked it was like it was much more like the original trilogy Yoda that like laughs and makes jokes and like makes fun of Luke. And
I love that. Like it's like the Yoda in those episodes is like a drunk Yoda.
Yes.
I love it. He's like, he's like page turner. It is not.
Yeah, I thought it was really good. Oh, and by the way, those texts, I don't know if you guys caught, but I think that Rey actually got them.
Yeah.
She did.
So at the end, I think either Rey or Finn opens up a drawer and you can see them in there.
Yep.
Yeah.
In one of the ending scenes.
What else do we think about this film? Like, what I know that we can all agree on. I think everyone agrees what the worst part of the movie is, and that's like the whole casino part.
Yeah, agreed.
Because literally nobody cares about that part at all. And it was like trying to be like a commentary, and it's like, don't put your commentary into my Star Wars. Okay, I don't care. Like, just don't make it an activist. Star Wars is not about like, well, this is supposed to mirror real life.
I mean,
class.
I appreciate what they were doing.
But I don't want that in Star Wars.
But that's what they've been doing the whole time that you liked a second ago. They're showing the struggle of like the good side and the bad side, how it's great.
But they're not making a political statement on it.
I don't think it was so much a political statement.
It was like I think it was. I think there was a lot of like save the animals.
Yeah,
it was kind of like an anti-capitalism strings in there about like, you know, the rich just get richer and they get money by screwing over the poor people.
I mean, it's how life is though.
To a certain extent, yeah, but I don't know. I just felt like it was a political statement, and I don't want people to turn Star Wars into like, oh, let's make this our little activist movie.
Yeah,
it's just supposed to be a fun movie, either. You know? I don't want people...
Yeah. I agree. I see what you're saying. But I think
it's a sensitive spot to me because everyone does it all the time now, and I'm getting tired of it. It's getting annoying. I just want a fun movie.
So, what I'm still sad about, though, is the movie was really good, but there was just not enough lightsaber fights. There weren't. There were 3, like, awesome Force-using, lightsaber-wielding characters in there, plus Finn.
Yeah, with Episode 7, there wasn't very much lightsaber, but the lightsaber parts were so good.
Yeah, they were awesome.
And so I was kind of like, all right, well, I got enough to keep me tied over, so I'll just get to see more lightsabers in the next one.
Yeah,
they didn't really do much lightsabers in this one either.
Yeah, that's true.
Dude, and they totally faked you out. Like, so when Luke first came to the salt planet, and like they shot him with all those lasers, I was like trying to figure out, like, did he protect himself over there? Can he do that? I don't know. I think he's here because like Leia's talking to him. Okay, he's there. And they shot him with all the lasers. And I was like, dude, he's so strong in the Force now. Like, he's probably about to obliterate all of them. And then I noticed that he has Anakin's lightsaber that Kylo and Rey broke earlier.
Right.
And I was like, oh.
Well, and you also notice that when his feet are touching the salt, it's not pushing the salt around.
It's always on the red, actually.
Yeah, like it doesn't, like when Kylo shifts his foot, it like makes red marks. But when Luke, when Luke does it, it doesn't. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, cool. that was a really cool detail. Also, another little detail I didn't even catch until after doing some reading online. The part with C-3PO and Luke, and like Luke was basically like winking and saying like, "Yeah, I know you know I'm not here, but keep quiet."
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I didn't catch that the first time, but it makes sense.
No, I didn't either. Like I didn't know. I mean, obviously, I didn't know what was going on, so that's why I didn't catch it. But
right. Oh, yeah, exactly.
I'd have to go watch it. That's actually the thing is, I saw the reviews, and so it spoiled the movie a little bit. Like I didn't read the reviews. I just saw that the critics loved it and fans didn't. So the whole time I'm watching this movie, I'm going, something's gonna happen. Something horrible is gonna happen, and it made me more on edge. But that's why I think I'm okay with most of the stuff that happened, because I was just expecting, like when Luke got shot. Like when he blew up, I was like, I bet that's how Luke dies. I bet that's why everyone hates this movie. But then he didn't die. So then I was like, well, this isn't that bad. You know, it was not a big deal. I literally thought he died there. I thought he like blew up. And then that would have been how he died.
I was expecting him to die in this movie. I don't know. Like, to me, it wasn't surprising if he was going to die.
Yeah. But I was hoping that he would, like, carry on something to the next one. Like, start a new, like, Order of the Force that's not the Jedi.
See, I wanted to see something like, I wanted, like, Rey to turn to the dark side. I'm serious. Like, I wanted something horrible to happen at the end of the movie.
Yeah, I wanted that too, but then I realized there would be no lightsaber battles, and I already didn't get any, so I don't want that to happen. I just want lightsaber fights between young Jedi who are strong and fast and spinny.
That's true.
I still think that Leia dying would have been the best way to do that.
It would have. Still would have.
I really do. I think Leia needed to die in this movie.
Well, now she's dead for real, so it's
how's she gonna die now?
Right? Like, so what are they going to do?
They're just going to write it in that scrolling text.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Leia's dead. The first line will just say she's dead.
Yeah, that was lame.
I don't know.
They literally said they're not going to CGI her in this movie.
Right.
Probably a good idea.
So it's like, well, what are you going to do then? Magic. We're just going to bring her back to life. And then we'll just be sad.
I find it pretty ironic that Carrie Fisher has passed away and her character lives in the movies, but Mark Hamill's still alive and his character dies. Like, what?
Apparently, Mark Hamill's like not happy about this movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what I've heard too.
I've just been hearing that. Like, he's just not a big fan of it.
Well, I guess when the original script came out, he said that he did not agree with some of the decisions they made for his character. Which is interesting. So, like, the whole thing that happened with, like, him throwing the lightsaber, he thought that was dumb.
I didn't think that was that bad, honestly. I know some people don't like it.
It was kind of cheap laugh-ish.
It was very Disney.
I don't know. Like, it was weird, and I was like, what the heck's going on? But now that I think back on it, I think it kind of makes sense, right? Because he is a cynical curmudgeon at this point, and wants nothing to do with the Force and, lightsabers and the Jedi and everything. So, like, it just kind of made sense.
Mm-hmm.
It made sense, but the way they did it was just, like, adding to the silliness. Like, how
there
like,
was a certain amount of like cheap laughs that I didn't like in that movie. It wasn't as bad as some of the Marvel movies do, where it's just so like, okay, this is not even funny. You're just spelling out this joke kind of thing. But like where she cuts the rock, and it literally almost kills those like natives on the island, and it's just like not a big deal. It's like, if you had done that a second later, you would have killed them. They would have got smashed by that rock, and then they were just like a little pissed off that she had smashed their cart, and it's like, you almost died.
I mean,
hey, stop being so annoying. That was a little interference there. Oh my god.
For the record, those little nun creatures
those things were hilarious.
Like,
they were, but I just thought that like she almost crushed them with a giant boulder, and they're just like, that person.
Yeah.
Like, you almost got smashed and died.
Maybe they're immortal and they don't care.
And she's just like, oh, sorry about that. It's just weird, You
almost died, but you didn't, so it's fine.
I know. That's like what my friends say to me, like, well, Luke, no harm, no foul. Yeah, okay, that's how it works, yep.
I felt really bad
foul,
for Chewie.
Feel bad for what?
For Chewie. They didn't do any, like,
I think barely in it.
He was barely in it. So, like, he just lost his best friend that he's been with for life. And then all he wants to do is do Chewie things in the Millennium Falcon, and he's just constantly being judged by porgs, like, throughout the entire movie. Like,
now, out of all the annoying things in Star Wars, I feel like the porgs were pretty okay.
Yeah, they weren't that bad. They were only in a couple scenes. They didn't
I actually enjoyed
them
a lot, yeah. I thought they were really funny.
If it's going to be Jar Jar Binks, the Ewoks, and porgs, I'd choose the porgs.
By the way, do they name the porgs in that movie? Because with the Ewoks, they actually never named them in the movie. They just named on the toys.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder if they say the word porg in the movie.
They do not.
Remember. They don't? Uh-huh.
They do not.
Oh, they never say Ewok? Oh, that's what you mean. Okay.
Yeah, they never say Ewok in Return of the Jedi. I don't think they say porg in the movie either. Which makes sense, but it's just funny. Like, they keep doing that. Just naming it in the toy. Like, you all know what it's called before the movie comes out. Because of marketing.
That's true.
Yeah, that's right. Well, they made those literally just to sell toys.
Yep.
They're like the minions of Star Wars.
The minions of Star Wars.
What else did you guys think about this this movie? Like, out of thumbs up, thumbs down, 70%, 80%, 100%. What did you feel overall about the movie?
I personally left incredibly conflicted and unsure of how I felt after having thought about it and dwelled on it a lot and kind of like the decisions they made, I actually think it's a fresh new take in that they're trying something new and bold, and I like that. And so I really want to go see it again and kind of now with my expectations not so, first off, so high, and also like not expecting certain things to happen, kind of just go in knowing that they were trying to do something really different and just trying to enjoy that and see how I feel afterwards. But I think it was a good movie overall.
Yeah, I really liked it, but I was disappointed for the reasons I stated previously. Like, it was really good.
No lightsabers.
It just wasn't. It's like mango salsa. Mango salsa is delicious, but it's never. It's never what I want on chips. But it's really good. But like, you go get chips, you want some spicy salsa. You go see Star Wars, you want to see some lightsaber duels and awesomeness, and you want answers.
I can agree with the lightsaber duels. I could have done with some more of that.
Like, they had lightsaber fights in them. They just made them lame.
I don't think they were lame.
They could have done so much more with the Luke and Kylo fight. Like, that would have been awesome.
Well, I mean, they couldn't hit swords because Luke wasn't there.
They hit swords. They just didn't hit.
They did hit swords.
No, they didn't.
They did.
No,
they definitely did.
We were there.
No, I don't think they did. I think he just like swooped underneath them.
Yeah, he should have done
Remember, he did like that. He like flew. He like went underneath him.
He did, but that was after they had already hit each other once.
I don't think
I'm pretty sure they hit each other's lightsabers. I think so.
No, I don't think they did.
You might be
also,
right.
there are laser swords, according to him now.
What'd you say?
Did he say they were like laser blades or laser swords or something?
Come on, Luke. Oh, dude. So speaking of people not knowing Star Wars and pronouncing things incorrectly, the day after Star Wars came out, my friend texted me, my friend Dylan, what's up, bro? He just has bad taste in movies. He hates Scott Pilgrim vs. the World.
What?
Which, that alone makes him not know.
It's a great movie. I love that movie.
Let's see. I have a message right here. He was like, I know you're not going to believe me, but Star Wars sucked. And I was like, you have terrible taste in movies, so I don't believe you. You're right. He's like, I love the original 6, but Disney has ruined the saga. I was like, the trailer looks good, though. Like, you'll like it because you liked Rogue One. Don't expect lightsaber action. He saw lightsaber with an O. And then I was like, dang it, don't spoil anymore. I was like, why did it suck? Without spoilers. And he's like, the story was great, the plot twists were unpredictable, but I wanted lightsaber action. Again, lightsaber. I didn't get any. And I was like, it's lightsaber.
Lightsabers.
And he's just like, haha. I'm like, you don't even go here. And then he goes like, I also don't like the new characters except for Rey. And he spelled it R-A-E. I was just like, bro, it's Rey, R-E-Y. He's like, I'm tired. I was like, you're uneducated in Star Wars. He's like, no, I just can't spell.
No, because he's like, I'm tired. You're not tired. You just don't know how to spell.
Then I was like, I bet you don't know what midichlorians are. And he's like, sent me a frowny face. And that is the end of our friendship.
Oh, man, that's really important. We all know how we feel about those midichlorians.
Dylan, if you're out there, I miss you. Let's be friends again.
Oh, Lord. The people saying that this has ruined the entire trilogy, I think is overreacting.
I don't think so.
So much.
What did it ruin? I don't think it ruined anything other than like maybe the story didn't go the direction everyone wanted it to.
Well, between that and I think because they basically, the movie is like, the legacy, the legend of the Jedi is no more. Like, what you have always known the Jedi to be is no more. Like, you know what I'm saying? They kind of like undermined.
They didn't like ruin the old movies. They just took the story in a direction that people don't want it to go.
I appreciate that. I like that.
That's what I feel like they did. At least it wasn't like they said, okay, so, what's a good example? If they had said, oh, this whole time, Luke was actually a bad guy, you'd be like, wait, what? That changes the other movies now because it like changes the story of the other movies. I feel like this one didn't change anything in the old movies. They just took the story in a different direction.
I agree.
All right, good.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I think it just went a different direction, and as someone that has followed Star Wars my whole life, I just wasn't expecting it, and so it was just so different for a Star Wars movie, right? But now I have a lot more open of a mind, and I'm actually very excited to see it again.
Now, did you guys speculate very much before you saw the movie?
Oh yeah.
I didn't watch any trailers though. I didn't want to spoil it too much.
I avoided as well. Yeah,
I was thinking about
all spoilers.
theories ever since episode 7 came out.
So you did, because I didn't really. I watched 7, and then I watched like 1 or 2 trailers for this new one, and then I never thought about it. Like, I never tried to like figure out who was who and what was going to go on. So I think
purposely didn't look up too much. I had looked up a lot before, and I was just thinking about it and talking to people.
I didn't stew about it. I wasn't like, who is Rey? Who could she possibly be? I just let it. I just didn't think about it.
Oh, I stewed a lot.
I wonder if that's what ruined it for some people because they had expectations, and then
I think that's
you can't say you expected it to be awesome. That's why you hate it. That's not how things work. If you expect it to be good and it's not good, it's not good.
You wanted to know who Rey's parents were.
Yeah.
And when you didn't find out, you were annoyed you didn't find out.
Mango salsa.
Yeah. Like for me, I didn't care who her parents were, so I wasn't disappointed when I found out who they were or who they weren't.
Yeah.
You know? But I'm just saying maybe that's one of the reasons some people like the movie and some people don't.
I agree with that. But we'll see. Like, I mean,
basically, you ruined it for yourself, Michael. Way to go, man.
They ruined it for themselves. They ruined it for me. They were gonna make the best movie, and then they didn't. But I am really excited about episode 3 because it seems like everything that they don't answer, they're gonna answer in episode 3.
9.
Well, it's gonna be JJ.
Oh, yeah.
JJ Abrams
Episode
again.
9. J.J. Abrams. I also heard that Rian
Gerbrams.
Johnson is making another like trilogy, but it's not gonna be directly after this one. It might be before. Which
Yeah,
would be
he
cool.
is.
They need to go more into the Jedi in the movies.
I just want to see I agree with you. Where I just want to see lightsabers.
Like, yeah, I feel like they focus way too much on like the spaceship battles. Like, they're really cool, but like I'd rather that be secondary. The lightsaber fight.
Oh, I actually was super happy with that because one of the things that I sometimes wish from some of the Star Wars movies is that they had more space battle. So I feel like they did a really great job in this movie with that.
I think the issue I have with space battles is I've seen space battles before.
But Star Wars does it like the best.
It is pretty awesome because they use gravity.
I don't know. I've never been a huge space battle person. I'd rather people be like on the ground with like guns.
I think it's a lot cooler when it's like
lightsabers.
face to face people.
Yeah, it's still cool. I just was never like.
Yeah.
Like if I watch episode 6, I'm all about Luke Skywalker and the Death Star fighting Darth Vader. I'm not about it's a trap flying around.
One thing my friend and I realized, we were like, man, like it was just a war movie. The story wasn't that great. Oh yeah, it's called Star Wars. Like that's kind of the point. Like it's one of those.
It was like a war movie, but in the stars. I don't know what they're trying to pull. Oh,
like it's one of those phrases that you just hear, but you don't think about the words anymore because it's just like it's a thing. Like I think of Star Wars, I just see lightsabers. I don't see like a war happening in my mind. So it's like, oh yeah, it is just a war movie. So I guess it makes sense.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, I do have a question. The end of the 7th movie, the First Order is supposedly like in shambles and the rebellion's like, doing great, whatever. What the heck happened between that movie and this movie where all of a sudden we're down to like 3 ships?
Who freaking knows?
Yeah, it really did fall apart really quick.
How long is it between both movies? Like in the story?
I have no idea.
Because
it can't be too long because like there's no way that no, it's not that long at all because it picks up right when Rey was giving the lightsaber to Leia.
So yeah, I don't know. That's why I'm wondering. Like, how long did it take Rey to get to that planet? Did it take
months?
months?
What if Rey was on that island for like 5
years?
Just holding the lightsaber, like, just talk to me, please.
I don't know.
Each other. And she's like, this is a test. This is a test. I can't fail. So she just keeps looking at him.
That would be funny, like, doing anything with a Jedi Master. You're like, is everything a test? Like, he's like, all right, wait here. And you just wait there for like 3 days. And back. He's like, why didn't you come inside? You told me to wait. Oh, sorry. I forgot to tell you to come in. Dude, so speaking of the First Order, one thing I think is hilarious is like, why don't they just give all the stormtroopers Captain Phasma's armor? Her armor was awesome.
What happened? Okay.
Like lightsaber bolts.
Why do they keep bringing her back and then
laser
killing
bolts?
her?
But then like, dude.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Like what's she's like the Boba
so
Fett.
disappointed.
Just think about this though. Think about this. If like, yeah, it's more expensive to make really like strong armor, but in Rogue One, a stormtrooper was killed by a stick. But like this armor deflects lasers, which is like their main weakness. Just have like less soldiers that are like invincible. That's way better than having tons of soldiers that get hurt by sticks.
I know, way to go, First Order.
Like every armored bad guy is so weak. Like one hit and they're gone. What's the point of wearing armor? Besides to like hide their humanity.
Right?
That's the other thing I wonder about stormtroopers in general. It's like, why do they wear armor? Because it literally does nothing.
It does nothing. It's kind of like a trick in movies to like make you not care about them, so you don't like get sad when they just kill random people.
Just put a sock over their head.
Maybe it's because it looks awesome, all right?
It does look awesome.
It's intimidating, you know?
But it's useless.
Yeah, Captain Phasma, like, I was, like, super excited in the last movie. I was like, oh, yeah, this is, like, the new Jango Fett. She's going to have, like, a really big part and
she was
become, like, super cool. And then, like, what do? They kill her off after her being on screen for 5 minutes.
Well, I don't know if she might not have actually died. We didn't see a body. So,
I'm going to say that's really lame if they bring her
She did fall into fire.
Yeah, but lasers bounce off of her.
It's true.
So it's like I just think like I don't think she actually died.
She just bounces off the fire.
It'd be really easy to bring her back if they wanted to.
She's kind of a lame character. Like, there's no reason for her to really be doing anything.
I have no connection with her. They've done nothing with her, so.
Where else can we take this? We covered some of the pros and cons of the movie. I want to make sure you guys get to talk about the things that you want to talk about, though. And usually these episodes go about hour 15, hour and a half, by the way, Brandon. So we're
cool.
coming up closer to the end, but I wanted to make sure you guys had a chance to talk about anything if you wanted anything else you thought.
I feel like one thing that I thought was really cool in the movie kind of harkened back to the original. Luke was still struggling to find peace, right? And like that was something he always struggled with in the original trilogy. And like I feel like the way he basically let the Force take him after finding peace within himself was essentially the same way Obi-Wan did. And so that kind of went full circle, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, I had no problem with like Luke using the Force and then going away and stuff like that. I think some people didn't like it because they wanted to watch Luke slaughter a bunch of people with a lightsaber.
Right.
It's like, well, we all did, but I mean, you can't always get what you want.
Nope. Can't always get what you want. So, yeah.
Okay, well, I'm ready to wrap this up then. Unless you guys have anything else you want to try and bring up. I know we kind of got a little scatterbrained all over the place, but it's a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll reprise it when the rest of the guys get here. We can talk about it.
I'd love to dive into it more, especially if like anyone who's listening has any thoughts or stuff they want us to talk about. It's a long movie, a lot of stuff happens. It's a long series, there's so many Star Wars movies, so we can talk about a whole bunch of stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Plugs, Michael. Anything you want to plug?
Just follow me on Instagram, Michael Dimas, MyKolDimas. I'll post a link to this podcast there in the picture. Just like comment any questions you have, so we can talk about them.
100%. No bands or music or anything like that?
No, some stuff happening, but check out that Key-centric album. I posted about it on my Instagram the other day. It's coming out soon. It's going to be sweet.
Check it out. Brandon, what about you? I think you said you didn't have anything, but...
I'm just a super average dude, so I got nothing for you, man.
That's fine. Literally, Brent and John are on like every single episode, and I'm always like, do you guys have any plugs? And they're always like, no. So, no, there's no hard feelings, but I'm never going to have you on this podcast again.
Lame.
No, but thank you for joining. It was good. We had a lot of people drop out, unfortunately, and then we were trying to like reschedule things, and I wanted to get this episode recorded, and you messaged me at like the perfect time, and I was like, we got to do a podcast on this. That'll be great.
It was a pleasure.
Did he just randomly text you like, hey, can I be on the podcast?
Yeah, this morning.
And you're like,
he
right now.
sent me a message. It was like, what do you think about Star Wars? I think last time we talked was like forever, like more than a year ago, probably.
Yeah, dude, I think it was last time when the Warcraft movie came out.
Nice. The nerdiness brings you together.
That was a long time ago.
It was.
So, thank you for that. Look what you did.
Thanks
you just sent a random text, and now you are on your first podcast. I'm assuming.
Yeah, it definitely is the first time, for sure.
All right. You can follow me on Twitter at Luke Roxwold. You can check out my vlog channel. I've been uploading a bunch of vlogs on there. If Shane was here, he'll tell you how funny the Walmart vlog is that we just did. It's really
Oh yeah, I saw that
really
one. It was good.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, it was funny.
Man. Oh, it's I don't know. I really like it, and even the people in it who watched it really liked it. It's really different. Check it out when you have time. Just go to my channel at Luke, or just at Luke. I keep turning YouTube into Twitter, and it's not Twitter. Go to YouTube and search Luke Roxwold Vlogs, and then look at my latest video. It's where we went to Walmart on Black Friday. It's really funny. A lot of people really liked it. So, anyway, all right, everybody, thanks for listening. If you have time, check out our other episodes. Listen to them like 6 times. Get our views up, our listens up. I just got my things all messed up.
Look at our podcast.
YouTube,
Watch
Twitter. I'm calling listens to views. I'm done. Thanks, everybody.
Woo.
And
outro music.
Outro music.
Yeah.
Peace.